Ooh, cream eggs. Ooh, Maltesers. Ooh.
The ooh theory to shopping.
Gregg Wallace and greengrocer Chris Bavin are back for their biggest challenge yet.
I like my food, but this is embarrassing.
That doesn't bother you, does it?
To help families slash their weekly food bills.
This family is spending an outrageous amount of money.
Getting quite emotional about that.
They're going undercover.
Oh, no.
I've got to go and do a top-up shop anyway, so...
You're already planning to do a top-up shop in the middle of a shop.
And taking over kitchens.
I ain't having this.
What is that?
Where's my stuff?
To find out where we can spend less.
Just under £6,000.
Stupid money.
And where, on the odd occasion, it might be worth spending a little more.
That's the good stuff.
Nice. Restaurant standard.
They'll be checking out the country's most popular food and drink.
My co-presenter tries to get me to do this after a long shoot day, actually.
And giving the great British public their say.
Yeah, that's delicious.
No, that's not right.
They'll be conjuring up cut-price recipes.
Ta-da!
Anybody can make this dish.
And it was less than £2.50.
But at the end of the day, will Gregg and Chris prove that you really can eat well for less?
This is all about breaking habits and learning something new.
No!
Let's get to work.
Look at their grubby.
This week, we're with the Taylors.
They're hairy.
They are. That's how they come out of the ground.
Ooh, Maltesers. Ooh, cream eggs. Ooh.
Whoa, guys, you're out of control.
The sky's the limit when they hit the supermarket.
What about the everyday value ones?
No, these ones.
Might as well walk up and down that shopping aisle chucking fivers around.
Mum Lindsay's baking obsession is sending the bills through the roof.
Oh, blimey.
How many cakes is she making?
What?
Like those ones?
Lindsay loves to spend, spend, spend.
When you set a budget, is it a budget or a target?
I think this is going to be hard work.
So can Gregg and Chris bring the Taylors back down to earth?
What about stopping spending?
We're in Melton Mowbray, Leicestershire.
I'm Jason.
I'm Lindsay.
I'm Holly.
We're the Taylors!
Mum Lindsay recently stopped work as a teaching assistant to spend more time with her family and do some baking. A lot of baking.
I bake every day. Every day is different depending on what everybody wants.
Oh, my mum's cakes are really nice.
Holly might be happy, but Dad Jason isn't completely convinced.
I'd love to come home and instead of seeing a cake on a cake stand, see a lovely bubbling pot of savoury food.
But for Lindsay, cooking the family's main meals has become a chore.
I find savoury dishes boring and stressful.
As a self-employed retail consultant, Jason works long hours. Plus, the couple have another 2 older children who eat at different times, so Lindsay's kitchen never closes.
It's not just the activities, it's their food interests are very varied, so I just want to please everybody. The children like pen pasta and I like the fresh spaghetti. This is quite common, just to do 2 different dishes. I really have got to the point where I just do not like to think about cooking in the evening anymore.
Making lots of meals means lots of shopping.
I think I've got an obsession for buying food. I often find I'm buying the same things week in, week out. Don't necessarily use them, so I throw them away and buy them again the following week.
So Jason's hard-earned wages are going straight in the bin.
I'm the one who thinks that we need help with our supermarket shopping because I just feel it's got out of hand. Oh, we got some spaghetti left.
Yeah, just put it in the bin.
No, I'll pop that up for work.
I'm conscious I am throwing food away and hiding food from Jason because I know if he knows I've thrown those chicken breasts away, you wouldn't be too happy, would you?
I wouldn't.
And they'll have to be thrown. Well, parsnips are about habit. You know, they're not going to get used, are they? There's so much rubbish in this fridge.
I think the cupboards are full and Linz thinks they're half empty. Cards on the table. I think you're too extravagant with your shopping.
Don't agree.
Uh-oh, there could be trouble ahead, and soon. Jason's joining Lindsay on her first trip of the week to the shops.
Raspberries, strawberries.
The couple have no idea they're being watched by two new undercover sales assistants.
What about the everyday value ones?
No, these ones.
To see where the couple are going wrong, Gregg and Chris are going to spy from a back room.
What's wrong with that one?
They've got the dates on them, that's why I like them.
See, this is, for me, one of the biggest bugbears. You can quite clearly see if fruit and veg is past its best.
It goes slimy.
Salmon? Fancy salmon?
Fancy some fish, but I don't know what.
What about a fish pie?
Is being stood in the supermarket the time to decide that you might be having fish pie?
No, it's not.
That's no good, look, the date. Well, I have to get it in. I've got to go and do a top-up shop anyway, so...
You're already planning to do a top-up shop in the middle of a shop.
Well, Lindsay does really love her shopping.
Oh, Maltesers. Oh, what about this?
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh, what about this? Ooh, what about that? That's lethal. You might as well walk up and down that shopping aisle chucking fivers around.
Oh, cream eggs. Should I get them one?
The ooh theory to shopping.
Need to get some pasta sauces as well.
Whoa.
Here they go.
Hang on, we're picking up 3 or 4
This one?
branded, top-of-the-range pasta sauces here. Pasta sauces aren't that difficult to make.
And it's not just sauce jars finding their way into the trolley. Shopaholic Lindsay is filling it up fast.
Okay.
Sliced bread?
Yep.
That may be one of the biggest shops we've ever seen, and I don't believe we're finished yet.
Right, I need some baking stuff. I need...
Baking stuff? Baking stuff?
Oh.
That's the sugar. Might as well get a big one, hadn't I?
Cocoa powder, vanilla extract. She's a cake baker. Oh, blimey.
Just thought.
How many cakes is she making?
What?
Oh, have a look.
If they've got
That
it.
chocolate.
What was that, like 10+ packs of chocolate?
Can't beat a Yorkshire tea.
What about stopping spending? What about going home?
Right.
Shall we go and pay?
Oh, thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
Take a mortgage out.
We best go and help them.
I think you might need a hand. I thought we might want to do another quick 12 rounds, see if we've forgotten anything.
The cupboards are always empty at home.
Sure.
They are, honestly.
I bet. Do you eat it all?
Most of it.
No, we throw I think, a significant proportion of vegetables fresh away.
As I'm ringing this through, and from what we saw earlier, there is a lot of brands here, isn't there?
Yeah, but then you get what you pay for, so...
Is that right? Is the more expensive stuff the better quality stuff?
I think it's tried and tested. If I don't buy the brands that the children enjoy, then you throw it away.
You've actually spent £235.
Ouch.
I feel embarrassed looking at some of this shopping, if I'm honest.
So, are you happy with that?
Yeah, because I've got to go and do my top-up set, so...
There's more?
I haven't got anything for Sunday.
Right.
The tailor's spending on this shop alone is nearly 3 times the national average, which is £91 to feed a family of 5.
Are you happy when the credit card bill comes in?
Absolutely not, no.
No, I shouldn't imagine you are.
When you set a budget,
Yep.
is it a budget or a target?
Well,
Right, should we get this mountain of food back to your house?
yeah,
Absolutely.
lovely.
Gregg and Chris are set on slashing the tailor's shopping bill by digging deeper into the family's food habits.
What do you think now we've got all this laid out?
I'm shocked.
To me, it looks like an incredible amount of food. I can't imagine a family getting through this.
It's having variety, though, isn't it? And having choices. I have to cater for everybody.
Lindsay's daily sweet treat doesn't come cheap either.
13% of your shopping bill is for baking.
Wow.
13%.
OK.
Another 13% is on sugary snacks.
Wow.
Gosh, that's a lot.
That is a lot. That's a shock.
26% of your shopping is sugar and cream and dairy-based products. The fresh fruit and veg that you bought is 12%
Really?
of your shopping.
Oh, my goodness.
We're not talking about money now, we're just talking about health and nutrition.
Yeah.
But there is still a lot of money at stake here.
So when we take into consideration coffees, sandwiches, takeaways, that comes to just under £320 a week.
OK.
Wow.
That works out at £16,500.
No, you see, that is too much, isn't it?
That's too much. Absolutely too much. You think how long we have to work to earn the money to pay for that?
For Lindsay, the shopping bill has always come second to keeping her children happy.
I suppose, really, I just want to make sure I do everything perfect for them. I want to be the Mary Poppins and make them...
Well, you're in danger of making them fussy for life.
I want them to grow up and just have such happy memories of me as a mum, though, and...
That's interesting, actually, isn't it? Oh.
That's why.
There was hardly ever any food in the cupboard when they were kids. And now I think you go the opposite way.
I just want to do the things that I didn't have.
But that priority comes at a cost.
Was it? It'd be great to be able to work less so that we don't have to pay for all of this extra spending that we incur.
And then we could have more time together, couldn't we?
Yeah.
As a family.
I think we need help because it's spiralled out of control. We need to impose a bit more discipline on the way we shop.
Sounds simple, but how do Gregg and Chris rate their chances?
This family is spending an outrageous amount of money.
The majority of the spend is certainly down to Lindsay, but I think the problem is down to the whole family. There's a real issue with her cooking lots of different meals.
We know what the answer to that is. It's getting the family to agree to a meal plan. Once they've agreed to it and said, yes, I will eat that, then they can't turn their nose up at it.
And then, hopefully, Lindsay will get the same validation from cooking the family meal that she gets from making all these cakes and sweet treats. So, I mean, I think that is the key.
I think the focus should be the health and diet of that family, and I think if we get that absolutely right, I'm pretty sure a saving in money will follow. I'd say 60 quid, on the nose.
60 quid? OK, well, I reckon we could save them £100 a week.
Right, you've chucked down the gauntlet, and Lindsay's about to cover it in sugar and bake it.
Breaking Lindsay's baking habit isn't going to be easy. First stage is a little spring clean of her kitchen.
Oh my gosh.
Uh-oh. Does that mean we're not allowed in there, then?
Afraid so, Jason. Plus, all your familiar foods are now disguised in plain packaging.
Is that it?
There's not really much.
Ham and cheese and that's it? You've got more beers than I've got food.
To put the tailor's taste buds to the test, some items haven't been swapped at all. Most are cheaper than their usual buy, but a few are a little more expensive because sometimes it's worth spending that bit more.
Muesli?
All muesli.
Well, I don't eat muesli.
I do.
Couscous?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, but I don't...
Jar of couscous.
Yeah, but I like the fresh couscous.
So it
That means I've got to do something
that
with
pickle?
that.
Do you think that's dried, then?
Well, it is, isn't it? But you
The
see, I'm
Greek
thinking,
yogurt.
looking at what we've had in the fridge and looking what we've got here, what meals are we going to have? I'm going to have to make things.
Yeah.
There's no pasta sauces. There's things in there you like, so you'll be all right.
I'm happy with that.
I think this is going to be hard work.
I'm
think?
excited.
Are
I'm
you?
excited to try it.
This is really freaking you out, isn't it?
I feel really uncomfortable. My cupboards are empty. There's nothing in here. My cupboards are bare.
Do you think?
My mum, I think, went a bit over the top because I think she just needs to let go a bit.
They're hairy.
They are. That's how they come out of the ground.
Yeah, but look, they're just... It's a real shock to see the lack of food in the kitchen. Look at their grubby.
Genuinely, I'm excited to try some new things that we've not had before. I think it's a step forward.
Well, at least one person's feeling positive. The Taylors are about to eat their first swap meal. For breakfast, they normally spend £4 a week on fresh berries, but today they'll be having frozen ones at less than half the price.
The berries look nice. I'm not convinced just yet.
They're having their defrosted fruit with a supermarket value muesli, which has 70% less sugar than their usual premium granola.
Well, this looks like rabbit food. I'm not looking forward to having this at all. To me, it's too dry. I'll just laden mine with yoghurt and honey and try some of those berries. OK, guys, breakfast ready.
If this goes down well, the family could pocket more than 200 quid a year.
I really like it.
Do you? I think the berries are adding a lot more flavour than they normally would.
The Taylors have bagged a great saving with their first swap. It's not surprising. Breakfast is big business here in the UK. We eat 520,000 tonnes of cereal a year, enough to fill the whole of Wembley Stadium. We've come to see if some Brummie badminton players can tell one wheat biscuit cereal from another.
I think my favourite brand would be Weetabix.
Weetabix.
I think I would be able to tell the difference, yeah.
I think a supermarket brand might taste quite cardboard-like.
In play today, Asda's budget wheat biscuits, Sainsbury's Basics variety, a shade more costly, Tesco's mid-range offering. Stretching the purse strings a little more are Morrison's wheat biscuits. The big name brand Weetabix is the most expensive on test. But with all 5 containing basically the same ingredients, will these lads be able to tell them apart? First up, a supermarket own brand.
You can definitely taste the wheat. I think it's one of the mediocre ones. I don't think it's the top one. I disagree. I think it's one of the expensive ones.
Next, the nation's best seller.
It's more like cardboard than the last one. I don't know, I'm a bit 50-50 with it, to be fair.
It tastes quite cheap, in my opinion.
Yeah, it does have, like, quite a decent texture to be fair.
But what will these picky palates make of the cheapest?
I think it's cheap, but it's still quite nice, actually.
I think, like, this one's the best. It's got a creamy...
I think it's...
Can we just ask you what makes you think this is creamy?
And now the last one. Price bang in the middle.
I think this one looks like Weetabix. It's definitely Weetabix. I'm telling you, it's Weetabix, this one.
Sorry, lads, it's definitely not. So, which biscuit did the badminton boys give top marks to?
And the winner is... Tesco.
What? Tesco?
That's just really surprising.
So, 2 mid-priced cereals took first and second place, with the expensive market leader in the middle and one of the budget bickies at the bottom.
From personal experience, I'd have thought that would have been able to spot the expensive one, but clearly not.
Definitely tell my parents that try the cheaper one and, like, you know, it turns out on top.
We're all guilty of getting stuck in a shopping routine. And the Taylor family are no exception.
Ketchup has to be Heinz ketchup. Snacks and cereals, they all have to be Kellogg's or Nestle or McVitie's. You can taste the difference, I believe.
Brand devotee Lindsay has been buying the same tea for over 20 years.
I do like a really strong tea, which is why I buy my favourite brand.
She's bound to notice any change to her usual brew. Or is she?
I think that's different.
I don't think it's as strong, do you?
No, I don't either. That's definitely not as full of flavour as you'd normally have.
No.
I think I prefer the one we normally have.
Sure about that?
It's not very tea-like.
No.
Is it really?
But I don't think I'd buy this one.
But you do! All the time!
No.
We haven't swapped it, Lindsay, promise. But we have replaced your favourite tomato soup that you spend nearly £1 on with a budget supermarket alternative.
Looks
Looks the same.
usual one. Smells like the usual one.
Do you think?
Does it taste like the usual one?
There's a good chance, if it is a different brand, it's probably going to be cheaper as well.
65p cheaper to be precise, Lindsay.
It's nice, I'll definitely have it again.
As they get through 3 tins a week, that means a saving of over £100 a year. We've also switched their chips to a value brand, which could save them over £1 a bag. But will Holly approve?
And how about your chips?
Nice.
That's another £50 a year banked. Holly also likes to see a logo on her baked beans, so Mum normally pays 75p a tin for the market leader. But today, Holly's eating supermarket value beans, which cost less than 1/3 of that.
They're definitely different.
Are they? In a nice way?
Yeah, they taste a bit like school beans.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. If Mum got those beans in the future, then I'd definitely eat them.
That's a tidy 52p saving per tin. And as Holly gets through 3 a week, switching brands means Mum and Dad pocket an extra £80 a year. But it's not just about saving money. Gregg wants to try and improve this family's diet too.
Hello.
Right. Eat well for less shopping bag.
Oh, OK.
Gregg's got a veg stew recipe that he's hoping will inspire Lindsay to enjoy cooking main meals as much as she does baking cakes.
These are 3 things that you regularly buy, and I should imagine you regularly throw away.
Yes, definitely.
Do you see a dish there?
No, I see something to accompany a meal.
You probably don't think the kids are going to eat it,
No, not at all.
Why?
Because they can see the veg.
They will eat vegetables on the side of a roast dinner.
Yeah.
Then they eat vegetables.
This stew couldn't be simpler. Gregg's frying an onion first, then some crushed garlic.
Put plenty of salt on this.
Okay.
2 reasons. One is because the salt is abrasive. It helps to crush the garlic.
Yeah.
Secondly, because it's so absorbent, it will take up the oil from the garlic.
OK.
How about that?
Ah.
I want flavour in here.
A 70p jar of spice can jazz up loads of meals.
I mean, paprika is smoky. It's only a very, very mild heat, and the flavour that adds is just great. It's just an undertone of smoky.
The chopped veg goes into a pan with a litre of stock.
We're going to let that cook, lid on, okay,
Yeah.
until the potatoes are soft.
It smells lovely.
Can I ask you, because you said before that you like to have full-up cupboards.
Yes.
Are you nervous of having empty cupboards?
Yes. I'm worried that... I think it stems from childhood, really, that we didn't have food in the house. You know, it was things like we used to have sugar sandwiches. We used to have to just drink juice out of a jar of pickled onions because that's all that was left in the cupboards. And I think because of that, I always wanted to make sure if I then had children myself that they would have the right things in life and Mum was always going to be there for them.
I think that you must know it's possible to look after your family and love them and not have to spend thousands of pounds doing it.
Yeah, I do now. I do realise now. Now I've had the wake-up call, but yes.
A simple way to slash the food bills is to do a meal plan. But it can only work if everyone chips in. So Jason and Holly are working out what the family will eat for a week.
Lasagna. On Sunday, a Sunday roast.
Sunday roast, yeah.
Yeah. Beef casserole.
That's 4 days of the week sorted.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that by planning our meals as a family, we'll have fewer meals to cook. We can all agree on the meals that we're going to have, and overall, a bit less time spent in the kitchen for Lindsay.
I think it will help my mum save a bit more money because she'll know what she wants to buy because we'll all agree on what we want to eat.
Hopefully, Gregg's veg stew with added baked beans for sweetness will also be a hit.
Whoa, look at that, baby! That's lovely.
Looks brilliant, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? I think we might be ready to serve.
Lovely.
Do you like the look of it?
I do, yeah.
I thought you might.
Absolutely.
It's the difficult customer that bothers me.
Can you eat parsley?
Do you think I'll put it on there to poison you?
Maybe.
Oh, wow. That is incredible.
What do you think, Holly?
It's nice.
Oh, baby!
You're eating veg. Holly.
Come here, Holes.
It tastes great. It's healthy. It costs pennies to make. And the kids are eating it.
Did you enjoy cooking as much as you like baking? Probably not. Did you like cooking?
I did. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm actually really excited about this.
This is a real step in the right direction for the Taylors in terms of their food budget and in terms of their health. Veg! Veg! That's what we want.
Too right, Greg. Most veg is naturally low in fat and calories and packed with vitamins and minerals.
Hey!
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
So Gregg and Chris are going to pool their greengrocer knowledge with dietitian Hala El Shafi to work out the best way to buy fresh produce. They know Mum Lindsay likes to buy hers washed and packaged.
Right, well, for me, actually, the worst thing you can do when buying fruit or veg is buying a packet because, actually, you've got no way of telling how fresh it is.
You can't touch it. So with a courgette, you want it firm and you want to make sure there's no soft bits on it. Herbs, make sure the leaves are all green. Inside a bag, that's much more difficult to tell.
And ironically, sometimes putting these products in bags can actually shorten their shelf life because the product can't breathe.
So for our greengrocers, loose veg is king. And then there's the question of cost.
What's the price difference between the loose
Wow.
and the bagged?
This is where it gets really mad. 57 pence per kilo.
So it's 57 pence a kilo more to have it in the bag.
Yeah.
57p more for a packaged banana from the same shop. Packaging does often carry cooking instructions, though. And for Lindsay, it's all about seeing that important best before date.
I don't know why any of us would need a date on a bag to tell us that the vegetable has gone off. It's going soft and it's got mould on it. It's very, very obvious.
They're saying these chilies are best before, 3 days' time. They're going to be no different in 5, 6, 7 days' time, are they?
So what about these sweet potatoes then?
I reckon at least 2 to 3 weeks.
Are you joking?
Keep them out of the sun. Don't have to put them in the fridge. Keep them in a dark cupboard like you would potatoes. That'll be as solid as this in about 3 weeks' time.
According to this, 5 days' time, and it's all over for these sweet potatoes.
No! What's he going to do, explode?
So I suppose the only down point is the less fresh something is, the less nutritional value it has, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The older any fruit and vegetable is, it's going to deteriorate in nutritional quality. However, it still is going to have some value and it is going to have that fibre. And also, looking at it in context, I wouldn't be encouraging everybody to wait until all their fruit and veg is, out the window before you prep it.
Talking of waiting, there's always a few culprits who end up hanging around a little longer than they should.
Up and down the country, there are fruit bowls like this everywhere. Looking a little bit sad and a little bit sorry. Well, would you bin these?
I'd use them in a smoothie or a juice. You can make banana ice cream.
What would you do with them?
What I'd do is peel them, chop them up, put them in a pan, steam them slightly, add some cinnamon. They're absolutely delicious. And if you've got a really sweet tooth, these are fantastic.
And Greg's not short of ideas when it comes to using fruit past its best.
We can make purees out the fruit and freeze them.
Yeah, we can.
We can make compotes and put them in jars.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Or we could put them in smoothies, cook them, have them for your breakfast.
Yeah.
We're all going to have a go at this.
Thank
Look,
you.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
That's a wonderful thing.
How is it?
I'm not sure. I'll have to have a second.
In Leicestershire, it's tea time. Normally, Lindsay would just open a jar, but not tonight.
I am making pasta sauce from scratch tonight. First time for me. I'm hoping Holly enjoys it and Jason, it's probably going to be healthier.
Sure is. It's got half the salt of Lindsay's usual sauce and it's cheaper, costing 13p per person to make, when some of Lindsay's jars cost £1.70 each.
I think the smell of the onions and garlic is very strong. I just don't like the look of these sausages.
That might be because they're not pork, they're venison, which do cost a bit more, but they have 80% less fat and nearly double the protein of the family's usual frankfurters.
I'm trying to be positive, but they're not doing it for me.
Well, the proof will be in the eating. All the sauce needs now is some passata. Tonight is a landmark occasion. They are all going to be eating the same pasta. And in another first, Lindsay is grating cheese. She normally opts for pre-grated, but if she bought a block, she could save nearly £1.
I would always opt to buy already grated cheese because it's quick. So this is quite time-consuming.
But it could save you nearly £50 a year.
There you go. It's not the normal.
Smells nice.
No.
It's not your normal hot dog. And, dum-dum-dum, I made the sauce.
Ooh.
Did you? From scratch? Wow, that is absolutely stunning.
I don't think I want to put one of those jars in my pan again.
Great news! Swapping the jars for homemade will mean a saving of nearly £15 a month.
I think I'd give the sausages about a 6 out of 10.
Yeah. See, I wouldn't. I'd give them probably a 3.
Would you?
Sounds like the Taylors wouldn't be up for paying extra for the healthier bangers, but the rest of the meal was a huge hit.
I'm really happy that the pasta sauce went down really well, which is obviously what I've made from scratch. So I've got a bit of a buzz from that.
With Lindsay happily making main meals at last, it's time to tackle her habit of making a sweet treat every day.
Lindsay is a fantastic baker.
I really enjoy it, and I like to see my children's faces when they can enjoy some homemade cake.
This is really nice. If I came back from school one day and there was nothing baked, then I would think there was something wrong.
Daily baking means this family need to reduce their sugar and fat intake, so Chris has booked in some kitchen time with Lindsay and Holly.
Thank you.
Hello.
Gizzy.
In his honour,
Yes,
she's made
come on.
a sweet treat.
This looks fantastic. What have we got here?
It's a tiffin.
Can you tell me what ingredients are in it?
It's got digestive biscuits.
Yep.
It's got dark chocolate, milk chocolate, cherries, marshmallows, syrup, butter.
OK. Well, it does look delicious. Is this one of your favourites?
Yes.
So could you cut me off what would be a normal slice
Yeah.
of this, please?
OK.
Would you be surprised to hear that we've had a nutritionist look at this specific recipe that you use?
Right.
And in that one portion, there is over half your daily allowance of saturated fat.
No way.
And saturated fat is linked to raising your cholesterol,
Yep.
which can lead to heart disease. What I think you might find shocking as well is if I show you how much sugar is in one slice of your cake. 4, 5, 6. Do you think that's bad?
Yeah, that's a lot.
7, 8.
So 8 spoonfuls of sugar in just that one slice?
And, I mean, that looks like a lot on its own, but even more so when you realise the daily allowance of this type of sugar is only 7 teaspoons.
And I'm putting that in Holly's lunchbox, as well as other things.
That's scary.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
As a mum, you know, I feel like I'm obviously giving the wrong food to Holly, certainly as a treat. And that's what I see it as a treat, but it's not actually a good treat, is it, to give?
No.
And Lindsay's not just baking sweet stuff each day, she also buys treats, spending just under $1,500 a year on chocolate, biscuits and cereal bars.
Would you be surprised to know that there's actually more sugar in your muesli bar than there is in that cake?
Wow. Gosh.
In fact, each of the cereal bars that Lindsay buys for the kids' lunchbox has the same amount of sugar as 5 digestive biscuits and the same amount of fat as 9 Jaffa cakes.
Oh, my goodness. That's like almost a pack, isn't it, of Jaffa cake?
I think it probably is there or thereabouts a pack, yeah.
Gosh.
To satisfy Lindsay's need to cater for her daughter's sweet tooth, Chris is making an oaty bar with seeds and dried fruits. It's lower in fat and sugar thanks to melted peanut butter and honey.
OK, any volunteers for mixing it up? Very good, brilliant.
Tickles.
So you can add anything to this then, I mean, because Holly really likes blueberries as well, so
Yeah.
put some blueberries in there.
Yeah, definitely. It's so versatile, it's so easy and it's so quick,
That's
and
really
it's cheap.
Right.
You know, very, very cost-effective.
If the family make their own cereal bars like this one, they could save nearly £150 a year. And there's no cooking either, just an hour in the freezer.
That's great.
I really think today will have made Lindsay think twice about giving her family all of these cakes and sweet treats. She does it for the right reasons, but it's the wrong stuff to be giving her family.
The moment of truth?
Here we go. Right, so Holly, I think it's only fair if you take the first bit, grab the biggest bit.
I know. Thank you.
That is nice.
That's lovely, isn't it?
But the question is, does it satisfy your sweet tooth?
Yes.
I don't think these will last long, to be honest.
Weekends usually see the Taylors splashing 20 quid on a panini and chips from the local deli. But today, we've given them ingredients for a veg-packed lunch at home.
Chickpeas and veggies are things that Jason absolutely loves.
And they're cheaper than chips. This meal costs just over £1 per person, saving the family almost £600 a year.
I can't believe how quick this is to make, but it's not just about the speed, it's just been the enjoyment for me standing here, making things from scratch, so, you know, preparing my own veg to put in this. It's just brilliant because it's just not out of a packet. It's nice and fresh.
I like this, and it makes a nice change from sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice, yeah.
Lindsay's on a roll now when it comes to cooking things other than cakes. Next stop, a homemade hummus. It costs half of what a slice of her after-school Victoria sponge cake would, and it's way healthier.
Did you make it?
I did make it.
Okay.
Are you impressed?
I am.
What's more impressive is how the savings stack up. The hummus ingredients are nearly £2 cheaper than Lindsay's cake, potentially banking another 500 quid a year. And replacing their usual jacket spud with cheese and bean supper could also save cash. A baked sweet potato with cream cheese and fresh chilli costs 68p less.
That's really nice. Really nice.
And it has around a quarter less calories.
I didn't think I would say it, but I've not missed my baking. I'm really enjoying just the savoury dishes altogether. I just don't know why I've not done it before.
The Taylors could save even more by taking advantage of the free food they have at home.
I've got 6 chickens. Get 6 eggs a day. It's only me that looks after these chickens. They're my favourite things, actually. I find them very therapeutic.
Lindsay's lucky enough to have eggs on demand. Most of us have to buy them, to the tune of 12 billion a year. But a staggering 1 million end up in the bin every day, with a quarter of those still being perfectly edible. Chris has come to meet Ken, who owns a free-range chicken farm in Somerset, to get the inside story on an egg's journey from hen to supermarket shelf.
You right there? Yeah. They all thought Gregg was coming, that's why they're all excited, I think. What time do these girls start work?
About 4 o'clock in the morning.
So presumably when it comes to laying eggs, you don't want them laying them wherever they are, on the floor?
We try and train the bird to lay in the nest over there, where it's nice and clean.
After a busy morning laying, these hens are free to roam the fields all day.
It's all about stress-free life, isn't it? If the bird's not getting stressed, she's getting good grub, she's going to lay a nice, tasty egg. Job done.
First stop is the crack detector test.
OK, so each egg, as it rotates, is tapped in every different position of the egg.
Right, so you're actually tapping them?
Yeah. It's a bit like a China cup syndrome. So if you get a nice crisp ping, it means the egg's absolutely fine. There's a microphone at the top of that plunger. The computer in there is building up a perfect picture of the egg, where it's cracked, how much it's cracked, whether it's going to leak. All the eggs that go to the supermarket cannot be cracked.
So what happens to any eggs that are cracked?
Go for processing, cakes and baking and that sort of.
OK, so like in cake mixtures and things like that?
Next destination is the dirt detection test.
You've got a load of cameras at the top.
Oh, wow.
Taking lots of pictures of each egg.
But they're lit up completely differently. What's that?
That's just to give the camera a better picture of the eggshell. That will see any feathers, any tiny dirt marks, any misshapes.
But surely people are happy enough with the occasional feather or a little bit of dirt on their egg. I mean, where do people think they've come from?
Well, in the supermarket, they've got to be a perfectly clean, round, brown egg.
The journey from hen to supermarket can take as little as 48 hours. But first, the eggs must be sized and stamped with a best before date.
So that gives you 28 days from the date it's laid. Doesn't mean that at that stage you suddenly become unfresh.
But how can you tell your egg is still good to eat after its best before date? There's a little test.
What have you got here for me?
If the egg's within its 28 days, she's just going to sit horizontally on the bottom of the bowl. She's quite happily lie on the bottom, horizontal, nice fresh egg.
OK, so that's at an angle, roughly 45 degrees. What does that mean?
I'd go with that. Not as fresh as this one, but it's still perfectly safe to eat.
I quite like this game.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So that's completely upright?
Yeah. She's right on the borderline. Definitely right.
So you wouldn't want to leave that much longer than that before you eat it? That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
OK, so what would happen if we had an egg that wasn't safe to eat?
She'd be virtually floating on the top there.
That's because as the egg gets older, more air gets through its surprisingly porous shell, making it float.
That's a cracking test you got there, Ken.
Nice one, thank you.
In Leicestershire, Lindsay normally uses her eggs for baking, but today they're going into an omelette. At just 8p each, this eggy brekkie would save nearly £4.50 compared to their usual weekend bacon butties.
This is nice.
I have to say, I think that cheese gives it a really nice taste, very strong taste.
I think omelettes are just really quick, easy, healthy options.
And they'll pocket you nearly £200 a year. Talking of budget-busting meals, Gregg and Chris are heading back to meet dietitian Halla to see how they can help the tailors eat well for even less.
Hi.
So we set you a little challenge, didn't we?
We did indeed.
To find a nice, tasty meal you can get ready the day before that they can take for either a school lunch or a work lunch. And we set you the task of getting it under £3. How did you get on?
Smashed it.
Smashed it?
Smashed it. £2.59.
£2.59?
Indeed.
So what are we going to do?
We are doing a frittata. This is a brilliant dish because it's fantastic for all the leftovers. I've got last night's potatoes here. I've got some frozen peas. But do you know what? You can actually use pretty much anything you like. Whatever you've got in the fridge, chuck it all in. Job done.
It starts with frying an onion.
So you've got a technique then, Greg?
What? To stop crying, just stay away from it.
Stay away from the onion. Have done.
Don't lean
over. I'm giving it to you.
Don't lean
Halla's adding pepper and chorizo for texture, colour and a bit of smokiness.
How did you come up with the idea of the frittata then? What was that?
Nutritionally, it's fantastic because obviously you've got your protein with your eggs and the flavours are incredible.
And this is OK to make the day before or leave in the fridge for a couple of days?
Absolutely, and actually the next day it's probably better because the flavours have really had an opportunity to get through and taste good.
Very good. Do you want the milk in here?
Yes, please.
Some garlic, onions and pepper then get fried in a slug of olive oil.
So what I think is great with recipes like this is let everybody get involved and pick an ingredient and really tailor it.
Yeah.
Eh?
See what you did there.
To suit your needs.
Tailor it for the tailors.
That smells great.
That is lovely.
Good enough.
Oh, this is much better than a boring old sandwich, isn't it?
Ain't it just?
And so, how much you said is £2.59?
£2.59.
I mean, you can just about get a sandwich for £2.59, can't you?
If you're lucky, yeah.
After the veg has softened, in go the eggs.
OK, so can you see here? Now it's actually starting to come away from the pan here.
Yep.
That's when we know it's time to stick it in the oven.
It only needs 10 minutes in a hot oven. And voila!
Look at this.
That actually looks really lovely.
Go on, get in there.
Bit on that.
Yeah.
That is sweet with the peas and the peppers, and it's smoky with that chorizo.
That's beautiful.
Yeah?
I can't imagine anyone would rather have a stale old sandwich than that. And I mean, the value is incredible.
Cheap, healthy and delicious. Result. In Leicestershire, the Taylors are almost at the end of their experiment. This family love their takeaways, but it costs them more than 1,300 quid a year. So tonight, Dad Jason is cooking his own. A chicken tikka masala with rice.
If I came home to this smell, I'd be absolutely delighted.
Let's hope it's a hit with everyone else.
I think Lynn's might have some reservations about this meal. I think she'll worry that it might be a bit too spicy.
Well, you should score points for presentation at least.
I'm hoping if it looks good, then they'll think it tastes good, even if it doesn't.
Well, as this only costs £1.30 each, it'll mean you're nearly 90 quid a month better off, if nothing else.
It's all right.
It's all right. OK.
I like the chicken.
You like the chicken?
But the actual taste is lovely.
With the food swaps finished, Gregg and Chris are back in Leicestershire to meet Lindsay and Jason for the last time.
So this week, hopefully they would have seen that they don't need all of these sweet treats. Their diet should have improved. Hopefully they'd have felt better about that and confident in the fact that their long-term health isn't going to suffer. And then if we can get the whole family eating the same meal, that's where the savings are going to come.
And I reckon 60 quid.
Yeah.
You reckon £100. It's only one way of finding out, you know.
This is true. Let's go.
I think the week's been really good. The meals that we've made, it's been positive. I've been given a reward from the motivation from Jason and Holly to go and have another go at something else. So it's certainly set the seed for me to get in that kitchen a bit more and forget my baking and, you know, come up with something that's tasty and nutritious. I'm looking forward to carrying this on. And I haven't actually thrown anything away.
Yes!
But what we all really want to know is how much money have Gregg and Chris saved the Taylors?
Hello. Come on, here we go.
Hi.
Yeah, don't worry about
Hi
it.
again.
Lindsay, you loved to have a house full of food.
Yes.
Did you not worry that you didn't have enough food?
I did initially, but, you know, I'm eating my words.
So the big question is, how did you get on not baking this week?
I didn't miss it. I actually thought I would, but being in the kitchen and making savoury dishes that we could all sit and enjoy was really nice.
So how did you get on with the food swaps?
We've noticed some things taste slightly different, but often they just taste great.
Should we see what you've been eating?
Yes, that would be
Really
good.
interested to find out.
Oh, this looks intriguing.
It. Breakfast, we gave you muesli. How did you get on with that?
The rabbit food, as I call it, is actually quite pleasant.
Boring.
So, yeah, it is. Oh, no way.
Oh.
Would you have ever considered buying this before?
No, it's
No.
and it's the entry level.
Yeah, value.
Wow.
I would have walked past that.
Gosh.
OK, well, it is cheaper.
A great start. Just swapping this will save £95 a year.
That's amazing.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm very pleased with that.
We're going to keep this?
Yes.
We're going to keep that.
And there's more breakfast savings to be had if they're willing to switch from fresh to frozen berries.
No way.
£2.50.
And we buy loads and loads of fresh berries.
Yeah.
And throw quite a few away when they're...
Wowee.
We're keeping the frozen berries.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely.
Good on you.
So far, the swaps have been easy to spot. But when it comes to her beloved cuppa, what will lifelong brew addict Lindsay make of the tea?
Everyone loves a cup of tea. Or do they?
Not your cup of tea.
You don't like my cup of tea.
They were horrible. It's not very tea-like.
No.
Is it really? So that is a definite swap and a big no-no.
I find that strange because we gave you a decent tea. Very decent, in fact.
No, that's not true.
The same
That's
one you
not
always
true.
have.
That's not
You're
true.
playing fast and loose.
That's not true. They're pulling our leg because I know that's not Yorkshire tea and those things.
I can assure you, 100%, I couldn't tell you if it wasn't true. So do you think you may now try a cheaper alternative from the tea that you used to like but now don't like?
Well, no.
That's a confusing answer to give.
It's very hard to answer that question because I really do like that tea.
No, you don't.
Or do you?
But you know, I'm really confused as to whether I do or I don't now. If you leave it in the box, it'll taste so good.
That's the best reaction to a cup of tea I've ever seen.
I think we'll just try a different brand.
Slightly cheaper?
Yes.
Lindsay loves a shortcut, like pre-grated cheese, but saving money can mean a little work.
The cheese?
It looked like it was out of date. It was all sort of hard and cracked and from the outside, but it had a really beautiful taste. It was divine, really.
So when you said you didn't like the look of the cheese, was it because it was in one big solid lump as opposed to lots of little shredded...
When I grated it up, because I had to obviously grate it up, which was all right, didn't take too long. It tasted lovely.
We obviously swapped it because it was not
a lump of cheese.
And it's a branded cheese, but from the deli counter.
Oh, OK.
But you were perfectly happy with it?
Yes.
Yes.
Would you like to see the savings?
Yes, please.
Yes. 91p.
Wow.
A lump of cheese.
Which works out about £47 a year.
Wow.
For someone to grate your cheese for you. So.
Did the children recognise it?
Holly...
Have they ever seen cheese whole before?
I think I remember Holly not liking the look of it.
It's massive. Look at the size of this flake of cheese, Mum. 2 slices of bread walking around
I don't think much of their cheese.
No, that's good. I like that.
So we're keeping that? That's a swap?
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Remember Lindsay's jars of sauces? What savings can she expect by making her own?
No.
£3.27. It tastes better.
And how long does a tomato sauce take?
It was minutes. This is the thing.
And we now have some in the freezer.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Over a year, the family could pocket over £170 by binning their jars. But that's not the only saving they can make by cooking from scratch.
Takeaways?
Yes.
Yes.
You had a go this week of making your own chicken tikka, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
All right, how did you get on with that?
It was lovely.
I made it. Yeah.
And we all enjoyed it.
The difference in price on one takeaway is that.
Ooh,
Wow.
Wowee. On one takeaway.
Gosh.
That in itself is just over £1,000 a year.
Yeah. We'll take that.
We'll take that.
During the experiment, the tailors tried a whole range of different products.
That really worked well, actually. That
And
was
we
one of the
haven't
big
missed buying the other brand, have we?
No.
And the savings kept on stacking up.
That's just, it's just
a one
unbelievable.
bottle.
I couldn't believe that one.
Swapping just these 6 items.
So, 65 pence.
Just on one tin of soup. 65p.
Wow.
Saves them another £520 a year. In fact, the tailors hardly rejected any swaps, except those sausages.
Didn't like them
A bit
at all.
too rich, weren't they?
So I think we've done remarkably well here, haven't we?
Amazing! Unbelievable!
So far, so good. But can Mum Lindsay really commit to quitting her cake-a-day habit?
If you agree to just bake once a week, that would represent a saving of £24 a week.
Gosh, that's a lot of money, isn't it?
It is. It's a shade over £1,250 a year. And that wasn't all.
You were spending £28.65 a week on confectionery. Should we halve it?
That still seems too high.
Yeah, OK. Well, if we cut it down by 3/4, that means you spend £7 a week on it.
Yeah, that's probably more realistic.
Good. Wow. Listen to you two. OK, good.
I'm seeing all these pound signs now and wondering what I can do with the money.
So, how do the final figures tot up?
We have made a saving.
OK.
If you carry on like this,
Yeah.
and I've got a feeling this is just the start, your weekly saving is £126.18.
That's good, isn't it?
That's fantastic.
brilliant. Yeah, that's really good.
That is brilliant.
That's a yearly saving of £6,561.36.
Yes.
I can work less now.
You are spending less time in the kitchen. You are all eating healthier, and you are now giving yourself an extra £6,500 a year.
That's great. It's brilliant, isn't it?
No, it's been an absolute
Thank you,
pleasure.
thank you.
Genuinely
Thanks,
enjoyed it.
Chris, thank you.
Me too.
But there were times we thought it wasn't possible as well.
I just want to continue this journey. I don't want to go back to providing sweet treats.
I think these changes are definitely going to stick. We've seen a better way of shopping, better way of eating, better way of cooking.
That was fantastic. Jason has got what he wanted. He's got healthier food and they are saving a sack full of money. But it's the transition in Lindsay which is nothing short of incredible.
She's almost unrecognisable from the woman we met. I mean, this is absolutely astonishing.
The time you spent with her, showing her how much sugar and butter she was feeding her family was the best day's work you've ever done.
Oh, that's very kind of you, Greg, but there's also the small matter of who won the bet.
Well, I said they would probably save, what, £60?
I said 100. And what did they end up saving?
Well over 100. Well done. You did it. Yeah, look, you can wear the hat.
Oh, wicked.
All right.
It's a bit small for me, Greg.
Well, you've got a big head, haven't you?
Well, I have after that.